Tonight, get ready to pay up at the pump.
Yeah, I don't like paying the high prices.
Manitoba drivers begin to feel the pain as the conflict in the Middle East leads to a spike in oil prices. Also tonight, eyes on the law.
We are closer than ever in providing body-worn cameras to our frontline uniformed officers.
How soon Winnipeg police officers could be equipped with body cameras and why the force is going ahead with it now when previous attempts have failed. Plus,
I'm Joseph Bernacki. Coming up on CTV News, step inside this giant pavilion made of snow and ice inside Riding Mountain National Park.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
get ready for more pain at the pump. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Due to the conflict in the Middle East, gas prices are going up and will likely go up again. CTV's Danton Unger is standing by live tonight with more on what you can expect on your next trip to the gas station. So Danton, what are prices looking like right now?
And Marilee, most of the stations I saw while driving around the city today were sitting at $1.49, though earlier this afternoon I saw a few still sitting around $1.36. Now, just in the past week here in Winnipeg, gas has jumped more than 12 cents, and the experts and drivers I spoke with today expect it will keep rising. As the Israel-U.S. war with Iran continues, its impact is being felt at the pumps here in Winnipeg.
We're sort of expecting them as soon as the war starts.
Gas prices continued to climb Friday, reaching an average of $1.46 per litre Friday afternoon, a jump of more than 20 cents since last month, and the highest it's been in more than 3 months.
Wish I could say things are going to stabilize, but we still have room to go. Petroleum analyst Matt McLean with Gas Buddy says the jolt in gas prices all comes down to this narrow passage on the southern border of Iran called the Strait of Hormuz. About 20% of the world's seaborne crude oil supply passes through here, and for the past week, the strait has been effectively closed after Iran threatened to attack any ships that pass through. Oil prices right now are going to continue to increase in this manner until we can figure out a solution for the Strait of Hormuz and get oil moving along through that channel. McLean says even if oil starts moving through here again, it will take a while for gas prices to steady. Unfortunately, this is all going to translate into higher prices everywhere in Canada and far beyond. Others have estimated gas prices across the country could climb, nearing $1.90 in places like Toronto in the coming weeks. Here in Winnipeg, prices jumped to $1.49.9 at several pumps across the city Friday, and for drivers like Fern Wozni, she doesn't expect to see it drop anytime soon.
I'm filling up now because I heard it's going to jump to Toronto's 161 already. So I don't know. I guess I won't be driving too far.
All right, so there are some things you can do to make your gas last just a little bit longer. Matt McLean at Gas Buddy says easing up on that gas pedal and simply going the speed limit can save about 25% in fuel efficiency, and making sure your vehicle is up to date on oil changes and has the proper tire pressure can also make a difference.
Well, at these prices, every little bit will help. All right, thanks, Danton. A St. James Assiniboia area school is increasing supervision after a message threatening violence was found in a girl's washroom. Assistant Superintendent Jordana Buckwold tells CTV News the message at Strathmillan School was found yesterday. It activated the risk assessment intervention protocol, and police were contacted. The credibility of the threat has been determined to be low. But Buckwold says out of an abundance of caution, the school is enhancing building security. Police have seen a spike in threats against Winnipeg schools. Between February 3rd and 19th, officers responded to 11 calls. None were deemed credible. 3 people have been arrested in connection to those incidents. Winnipeg police officers will be wearing body cameras starting this summer. After years of debate and false starts, Chief Gene Bowers told the police board today the service is moving forward with a pilot project. The goal is to improve accountability and transparency. With more on the announcement, CTV's Jeff Keel joins us now live. So, Jeff, how many officers are being equipped with these cameras?
The chief says 40, with the hope of expanding this one day to all frontline officers. There could soon be video available showing interactions between the public and Winnipeg police officers.
We're going to mobilize it through the frontline members.
Police Chief Gene Bowers told the police board Friday 40 officers will be outfitted with body cameras starting in June. The program is a pilot project that will run through the summer with the aim of expanding this throughout the front lines. Bowers says video evidence from the cameras will not only strengthen cases when they go to court, they will help improve accountability and transparency.
Anytime there's a critical incident that occurs, the first thing we're looking for is video. So I think it's incumbent on us to provide that video.
It would allow for better reporting and understanding what happened on those events.
The union representing Winnipeg police officers says it's not opposed to the program, but has concerns about the cost. Past attempts to do this have failed. An estimate 5 years ago put the price to equip all officers at $32 million over 6 years.
Is that better spent as resources on the ground? There's demands against our officers. We find them in hospitals now.
RCMP officers in Manitoba already have cameras, and Bowers says the cost to do this on a wider scale has significantly dropped since the last attempt.
The technology's advanced so much, and like anything, the prices go down.
And some could have concerns about their privacy. Bowers says Canada is not the U.S.
The expectation that we'd be releasing all this video, that doesn't happen in Canada because there's privacy issues that go with that.
The police board also heard about an upgraded taser coming for Winnipeg Police. When deployed, it could trigger the body camera to turn it on if it already was not.
So, Jeff, what is this pilot project going to cost police then?
Chief Bowers says based on an agreement with the private company, there is no cost to the service for the pilot. And he says the WPS is under no obligation to choose that vendor for a larger contract to expand the program to all officers if it gets to that.
All right. Thanks for this, Jeff. Chief Bowers also says the service is taking several measures to strengthen public trust.
Since the arrests of a number of our members, myself and my executive, we've taken steps in our leadership to ensure that there's accountability and transparency in our organization.
The service is undertaking 10 actions, including expanding the professional standards unit with 3 more investigators, establishing clear performance expectations, and expanding mental health monitoring. It's also exploring 24/7 cybersecurity monitoring to detect unauthorized use or misuse of police databases. These measures come after 3 officers were charged with breach of trust in November of 2024, including Elston Bostock, who was sentenced to 7 years in prison. A tragic update now to a story we brought you last night. Winnipeg police say the woman behind the wheel of a vehicle that crashed into a strip mall in St. Boniface has died. It happened Thursday morning near the corner of Goulet Street and St. Mary's Road. Police say the woman in her 60s was taken to hospital in critical condition, but later died. Investigators say she was the only one in the vehicle. No one else was injured, and no criminality is expected. The town of Virden has been placed under a boil water advisory. According to Manitoba Health, a power outage yesterday caused a loss of water pressure in Virden's distribution system. This can compromise the safety of the water, prompting the advisory to be issued. Water used for consumption and preparing food should be brought to a rolling boil for at least 1 minute. Now, keep in mind, the town is already under a water quality advisory over arsenic levels, which are above federal guidelines. Manitoba Health says boiling the water will not reduce arsenic levels. All right, let's bring in Colleen Brady now and get a first look at your weekend Skywatch forecast. What are you tracking for us as we start our weekend?
Well, rising temperatures this weekend, but also different forms of precipitation. Speaking of which, I'm sure you wanted to trade your boots and shoes for ice skates today because it was a skating rink out there, as you well know. That's improved. We had hours and hours of light freezing drizzle that was responsible for that. We really shouldn't see too much of that, but we can't entirely rule out more light freezing drizzle or light freezing rain this weekend. I'll show you why coming up. But for now, the CTV Live Eye, it's brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. In Winnipeg, it's cloudy, -7 degrees, winds easing up out of the northwest, 14 kilometers an hour. That makes the wind chill feel closer to -13. The pressure's rising and the humidity right now merrily is 86%.
Thanks, Colleen. We're hearing concerns tonight about plans for a sizable data center south of Winnipeg.
I haven't actually spoken to one person that is for this kind of project to be so close to a community.
That's Christine Little, who lives directly across the street from a plot of land near Ile-des-Chênes, where a pair of tech companies have their sights set on constructing a large-scale data center. In December, one of those companies, Jet AI, announced it secured purchase agreements for approximately 350 acres of land in what is described as a Goldilocks zone, referring to nearby hydroelectricity and natural gas. Little, however, is worried this project will bring with it noise, light pollution, environmental issues, and put pressure on the electricity grid.
I was really, really sad. That was my initial reaction. My husband and I moved here 20 years ago. We have 3 kids. We planned on staying here for our entire lives. And if there is a data center that is going to be built across from us, we have no intentions of staying. And it just makes us really sad.
Little has begun circulating a petition online and plans to set up a physical site for people to sign in order to bring awareness to the issue. By late Friday afternoon, it had more than 2,500 signatures. In an email response to questions, a spokesperson for the company involved, Consensus Core Technologies, says the facility will help diversify the economy, strengthen Canadian data sovereignty, and generate significant amounts of new jobs and tax revenue. It adds the project will, quote, generate and store its own power on site with the ability to supply power to the grid at peak times, and that the facility will run on a modern closed loop cooling system that does not rely on refilling with fresh water. New safety measures are coming to Millennium Library. The city says a contract has been awarded to install new guardrails at the downtown library. The new guardrails will be significantly taller than the existing railings, standing between 7 and 8 feet tall. They're expected to be installed this spring on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floors at a cost of $1.4 million. The city says potential service impacts will be shared in the coming weeks. The province is considering extending the twinning of a major highway in southern Manitoba to improve connectivity. A portion of Highway 59 just south of Ile-des-Chênes is being considered for the potential twinning project. Now, if it were to go ahead, the project would impact more than 15 kilometers between Provincial Road 210 and Highway 52. The province says an engineering firm has been hired to conduct a functional design study looking at traffic volumes, patterns, and any land acquisition needed. A timeline for the project isn't yet available. A member of the Manitoba legislature has decided not to seek re-election. Richard Pershot, a progressive conservative who represents Selkirk, has decided politics isn't the best fit for him. He was first elected in 2023, and Pershot says he feels he can accomplish more as a private citizen than as a member of the opposition. The next election is scheduled for October of next year. Visitors to Riding Mountain National Park are in for a surprise. A giant snow pavilion, almost 5 meters tall, is attracting visitors to Clear Lake. And while Mother Nature may be taking a toll on its height, as CTV's Joseph Bernacki explains, that was always part of the plan.
On the frozen shores of Clear Lake, Carly McRae, chair of Clear Lake Country, says their snow pavilion is a must-see.
It brings out the kid in me. I think that's where the idea came from. Every kid, in Manitoba grew up building snow forts in our backyard.
But this isn't your average backyard snow fort.
It doesn't get much better than like an epic, a giant snow fort that you can play in and use your imagination with.
This year, it was built over a 2-week period in late December.
Each year it gets bigger and better. This year it's a totally enclosed structure, ice walls that have been harvested from Clear Lake, and it's just a great location for people to kind of retreat from the outdoors into an enclosed winter structure.
George Hartland, CAO of the nonprofit Friends of Riding Mountain National Park, says it's the 2nd year in a row for the build. An arch stood here in 2025. This year, the Clarso Snow Pavilion will be featured in the upcoming Fire and Frost Festival. Chris Panko, artistic director of Winnipeg-based Anvil Tree, says they started with a reusable steel frame. Snow was then packed on using snow blowers.
We're actually piling snow on top of the form and then moving the form underneath the snow to create a tunnel.
Panko says his team will head back up to the park to touch it up based on the whim of Mother Nature. He says snow is a challenging material. What started as an arch shape has now melted into a tent-like figure. Some of the snow has sunk.
The thing with working with ice and snow is that it's not a static material, so it moves.
McRae hopes the snow pavilion can become an annual tradition here inside Wasagaming. Until then, carvers will have a few more days to fine-tune the pavilion ahead of March 13th. Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Riding Mountain National Park.
We need to be doing a lot more with Japan and with Korea.
An urgent trade mission in Asia. Why a deal could provide a critical lifeline for Canada going forward. Ford is recalling more than 600,000 vehicles in Canada because of problems with towing. Ford says a software problem means trailer lights and brakes may not work on trucks and SUVs made since 2021. It's also recalling more than 50,000 vehicles because of a defect with windshield wipers. Turning to the markets now, crude oil added $9.89. The loonie jumped to 73.46 cents U.S. Gold futures rose $80. The TSX lost 526 points. The Dow Jones dropped 453 points, while the Nasdaq closed 361 points lower. Beef producers in Manitoba are calling for accurate counts tonight of elk and deer. They're worried about another possible tuberculosis outbreak as those numbers explode. CTV's Harrison Shin has more on the impact that could have on beef prices.
Matthew Atkinson is a Nipawa area cattle producer. He says the local elk population is surging.
We get a lot of these, especially the big herds of elk, and once those herds get pretty large, they can do an awful lot of damage in a short amount of time.
Atkinson says it isn't just 3 or 4 elk, but more like a herd of 300 to 400, and while producers build fences to keep them out, they get through.
It's a big financial hit. I mean, like I say, they can eat a lot of feed in a short amount of time, and just the nuisance, once they find that's a real feed source, they're going to keep returning back.
Now, Manitoba beef producers will push the province for several actions, including an accurate count of elk and deer populations and financial assistance for fences and feed damage. Carson Callum, CEO of the organization, says with increases in elk and deer populations, another possible tuberculosis outbreak could lead to quarantines and reduced production.
With that low supply and still a high demand for the high quality protein that beef is, it leads to strong, higher prices for the consumer.
In a statement, a provincial ministerial spokesperson said, in part, our government is actively reviewing population data, fencing needs, and compensation tools to ensure our program remain responsive, adding they will continue to work with producers and wildlife experts. Callum says there is no single perfect solution for this issue.
When dealing with wildlife, there is a lot of complications, and then you throw in the dealing with a live animal, which is the beef animal. But we really need to address it with various strategies.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
To the Middle East now, where U.S. President Donald Trump says he won't accept a deal with Iran at this stage, only unconditional surrender. It comes as U.S. and Israeli forces continue their bombardment for a 7th day as Iran targets countries around the region. CTV's Adrian Gobriel reports.
Friday's prayers at Tehran's Grand Mosque punctuate 7 days of war across the Middle East. Spilling into the streets, thousands of Islamic Republic regime supporters protest the killing of their supreme leader. One man holding up a sign that reads in Farsi, "Death to America." As air raid sirens sound in Tel Aviv, warning of an incoming Iranian missile strike, Israeli and U.S. forces have vowed to increase their ever-intensifying onslaught across Iran. The IDF releasing this video, a barrage of bombs fired by roughly 50 Israeli fighter jets on the first day of this war. The target, an underground military bunker where Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei may have been killed. On the outskirts of Adana, Turkey, a group of elders hold court at this table. The heated discussion of this day, Iran's right to defend itself after a NATO base in this city shot down an Iranian missile in Turkish airspace. Hassan Berdogan questions, why are we spending money on war instead of helping people? Abdul Rahman chimes in saying he believes Iran has the right to hit any country that has a U.S. base.
We're in southern Turkey, which borders both Syria and Iraq. Now, this neighborhood is called Anadolu. It's home to a community of refugees, many living in poverty. They know the toll of regional war all too well.
We met 12-year-old Fouad, who wants to be a police officer. His 12-year-old friend Hassan wants to be a singer. Each of their families fled war in Syria. They tell us that it feels like danger has followed them since the day they were born. We are worried because it feels like everyone is dying, says young Fouad.
Do you have any hope to go back to Syria?
The country is our country, says Hassan. When the war is over, we will return. Though when that will be possible is anyone's guess.
Are you worried for future generations in this region?
Yes, we are worried, says this elder. The war is feeding the rich. The powerful are having their way while people die.
And tonight, multiple reports citing American officials who say Russia is now providing Iran with location intelligence to target U.S. assets in the Middle East. Adrian Gobro, CTV News, Adana, Turkey.
BC Premier David Eby says OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has agreed to apologize to the community of Tumbler Ridge. It's come to light the mass shooters concerning interactions with OpenAI platform ChatGPT were flagged internally, but it was not brought to the attention of police before the shooting. After a virtual meeting with Altman, Eby said OpenAI will work on the apology with the mayor of Tumbler Ridge, where 8 people were killed on February 10th by Jesse Van Rootzeler. Prime Minister Mark Carney is wrapping up his 9-day trip around the world, signing a new partnership with Japan. But Canada's upcoming review of its free trade deal with the U.S. could play a factor. CTV's Abigail Beeman explains.
Japan welcomed Prime Minister Mark Carney with O Canada, while Carney offered up some Japanese. Like in India and Australia, the Prime Minister is trying to show the Indo-Pacific Canada has what the world wants. In Japan, that's Canada's energy, especially LNG, and food.
We do much, but we're ready to do much more. And that's a common theme of our government. So my government was elected with a clear mandate to build boldly with a speed not seen in generations.
Canada and Japan announced a new strategic partnership boosting trade, energy, and defense.
We need to be doing a lot more with Japan and with Korea when it comes to understanding the threat from China and Russia to Canada's, basically Canada's western part of our Arctic.
Kuzma is very important part of the calculation.
But nearly 3/4 of cars made in Canada are Japanese, providing thousands of Canadian jobs. And Japan is watching the review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Free Trade Agreement closely.
I think that is the critical condition. Because Canada is, of course, a G7 country. Your GDP is one of the top 10 countries, $2.5 trillion. But you know the size of the U.S. market, $30 trillion.
And I think the Prime Minister laid out this evening during his meeting with Prime Minister Takaichi that Canada is in a pretty solid position. Of course, the negotiations will start formally with the United States in the weeks and months ahead.
The Prime Minister has a host of business meetings Saturday, including with some of the big Japanese automakers. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Tokyo.
Trade talks between Canada and the United States resumed for the first time today since they were called off by President Trump over Premier Ford's anti-tariff ad in October. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc shared this photo of his meeting with U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer in Washington. LeBlanc said they had a constructive and substantive discussion pertaining to the review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Agreement, or CUSMA. The agreement has protected Canada from some of the worst impacts of Trump's tariffs. However, the U.S. president has repeatedly questioned whether the deal should be maintained. LeBlanc says he and Greer will speak again in the coming days. And those talks come as Americans receive some worse than expected news on their country's economy. Figures from the U.S. Labor Department show there were an estimated 92,000 jobs lost nationwide last month. Economists had been expecting a net gain of around 60,000 positions after strong numbers in January. Among other factors, analysts say uncertainty around tariffs is prompting some employers to halt hiring plans. Alberta could soon be following BC's lead, getting rid of daylight saving time.
You just ask people, do you want to stop the time change? You'd probably end up with overwhelming support on that, as they have in other jurisdictions.
Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says her government will consult on ending the spring forward fall back practice. Smith says she'd prefer moving to permanent daylight time because it would mean extra sunshine in the evening. But in a 2021 referendum, just over half of Albertans who voted said no to adopting daylight time. On Monday, British Columbia announced this weekend will be the last time residents in that province spring their clocks ahead, locking in on daylight time. A big shakeup for the Winnipeg Jets, how many players have been traded and what the team got in return.
Throughout the long-range forecast for Winnipeg, temperatures bouncing around a bit, the on-again, off-again chance of precipitation. Here's how it plays out. 4 degrees on Sunday, mix of sun and cloud with a chance of showers, albeit a lower chance, but it's still there. By Monday, though, a high of just -7, a mix of sun and cloud. By Tuesday, a little milder, back up to -3 with the chance of flurries, but still some sunshine. Mix of sun and cloud again on Wednesday, -3 degrees, back up to 0 on Thursday. More cloud than sun with the chance of a few more flurries.
The Winnipeg Jets picked up a 4-1 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning last night, but it all happened in the shadow of the looming NHL trade deadline. And hours later, the team announced it was trading 2 defensemen to Buffalo. Logan Stanley and Luke Schenn were held out of last night's lineup as trade rumors swirled. Later, they were dealt to the Buffalo Sabres for defenseman Jacob Bryson, forward Isaac Rosen, a conditional 4th-round pick in the 2026 NHL draft, and a 2nd-round selection next year. And that's not all. This afternoon, the Jets also traded forward Tanner Pearson to Buffalo in exchange for a 7th-round 2026 draft pick. Manitoba's Matt Dunstone is on to the 2nd round of playoffs at the Canadian Men's Curling Championship.
Has he got the combination to pick up the win here in 10? Harden's are backed away all on its own now, and he does!
Dunstone was trailing Brad Gushue 5-4 heading into the 10th end, but as you just saw, managed to pick up 3 points with his final shot and secure the 7-5 win. Now that shot was made possible because Gushue failed to put his final rock across the hog line and set up a guard. Dunstone will now meet 4-time Brier champion Kevin Cooey in the Page playoffs tomorrow. The winner earns an express ticket to the final, while the loser drops to the semifinal. Cooey was a 7-4 winner over Canada's Brad Jacobs, whose next opponent is Manitoba's Braden Calvert. That game just got underway a short time ago, and at last check, Jacobs had a 3-2 lead after 4 ends. A pair of Winnipeggers are World Junior Figure Skating champions. Ava Kemp and Jonatan Elizarov captured gold in Estonia, climbing from 2nd to 1st place with a winning free skate to Claire de Lune by Claude Debussy. They scored 167.9 despite a fall from Kemp on her triple toe loop and spin out on their throw triple loop. The duo is Canada's first World Junior Pairs champions since Barbara Underhill and Paul Martin in 1978. Meantime, Jasmine DeRoche and Kieran Thrasher of Ontario claimed silver to secure a double podium for Canada.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Congratulations to them. I get tongue-tied just trying to say the moves that they do, never mind pull them off. So
no kidding.
Well done.
I'm so excited for them. And Canada, of course, often does well in figure skating, but to have world champions coming out of Winnipeg, and they're junior world champions, so they have more years ahead.
Big
so it's
future,
very exciting.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yes, absolutely, big time. Temperatures, big time, going up above freezing this weekend, but there's a catch, right? Isn't there always with these things? Well, we talked, of course, about how slippery it was earlier today. We may well see some freezing rain yet before the weekend is out, but looking at the satellite radar right now, it's cloudy. All that precipitation has moved off to the east. I'll head this way to show you. There's a little bit of light snow picking up in Kenora, but it's still falling more heavily around Dryden, Sioux Lookout, but even further out to the east, you can see there's rain, and there's freezing rain right now out around Thunder Bay, where the temperature there is right at the freezing mark. Back into Manitoba we go. We'll see partly cloudy conditions here in the Red River River Valley. Other areas similar. Up in the north, a little bit of flurries popping through in some areas. Again, pretty quiet weather night overall. Then we get into the weekend. Temperatures rising up above freezing in southern Manitoba because we'll have some pretty strong southwest winds accompanying that milder air mass. But here comes the next round of precipitation. I say precipitation because it won't just be snow. Primarily it is affecting, you can see central up into the northwest to start. It will travel east as we move throughout the latter part of Saturday. But as we get into southern Manitoba, watch out for this if you're in the southwest, the potential for more freezing drizzle or freezing rain. Now, by late afternoon, the outside chance we could start to see some rain showers or some more freezing conditions here in Winnipeg and the Red River Valley. Better bet, though, according to the Futurecast anyway, it could start by early Saturday evening and continue throughout the night. It doesn't last very long before it moves on out of Winnipeg, really just hanging onto the southeast corner of the province by midnight and then again off into northwestern Ontario. Meanwhile, some light snow continues across parts of northern Manitoba up into the northeast. Then we get to Sunday, and guess what? Another round of mixed precipitation comes through, which some of it could reach Winnipeg, although the chance at this point is on the lower side. For tonight, minus 13 degrees, partly cloudy, winds out of the southwest at 15 kilometers an hour overnight. Minus 10 by morning, mix of sun and cloud. Could be leaning a little more on the cloudy side. South winds, but they're light now, but then they'll start to pick up as we go throughout really most of the rest of the day. 30 gusting to 50 out of the southwest, those winds up to +2 in the afternoon with the possibility of some showers starting later in the afternoon, if not by early evening. A few flurries most likely tonight through Gillam down into Thompson in the northeast and more central areas. Thompson down to minus 22. Churchill is sunny tomorrow, but the rest of the region, Gillam, Island Lake, and then back into Thompson, you'll see some snow arriving in the afternoon. Cloudy tonight across the northwest, and then snow gets going tomorrow morning. Now, Flin Flon could see about 5 centimeters. Lynn Lake could get as much as 10 tomorrow. In the southwest tonight, partly cloudy. In Brandon down to minus 12, minus 8 for Dauphin. Now, again, there is the chance of showers around the region. The chance is higher for Dauphin than it is for Brandon, but look at those temperatures between 2 and 4 degrees. Winnipeg in the southeast, partly cloudy tonight. Overnight lows, a bit of a range, minus 13 here in the city, but minus 9 for Morden and Winkler. And again, there's a chance we'll see those showers by late afternoon. We'll start out with some sunshine with highs between 2 and 4 for most areas. Snow continuing tonight in Dryden, and then a mix of sun and cloud around northwestern Ontario tomorrow with highs between 1 and 3 degrees for your Saturday. Clifford sent in this first photo. It is taken near Sheridan, Manitoba. That's up in the northwest part of the province. This photo is from Maureen looking out onto the fishing huts out at Grand Marais. And by the way, Grand Marais is having a family fishing derby tomorrow between 11 and 3. Send us your weather photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
There was a light at the end of the tunnel. This could be it.
Still to come, an Ottawa man with ALS has been selected for a new treatment aimed at combating the devastating disease. We'll have more on the Canadian medical breakthrough next in Medical Watch. Tax season is in full swing, and whether you're a first-time filer or a seasoned tax veteran, the right tips and strategies can make all the difference. David Nunez is with the Canada Revenue Agency and is here to talk about what Manitobans in particular need to know before filing. David, good to speak with you.
Hi, thank you for having me. Good to be here.
You know, I know a lot of people feel overwhelmed and stressed when it comes to filing their taxes, so break it down for us. What documents and paperwork do we need to get started?
Well, it's actually a lot simpler than what sometimes meets the eye. Filing your taxes can seem overwhelming. It can seem challenging, especially, you might be a newcomer to Canada, maybe a senior citizen or a student filing your taxes for the first time, but it is a lot easier. Now, most people, when they work and, they work for an employer, they get their T4, and then it's kind of a plug and play from there. You get the information from your T4, you fill in the blanks on your tax return. It's as simple as that. But there's more to it than that. That's just kind of the beginning of it. You can also ask yourself, what happened in 2025, specifically in my scenario? Did I have kids? Did I get married? Did I move? All those questions paint a picture of your own tax situation, and gathering those documents to help file your taxes and give you maybe some deductions or some benefits that you didn't know about is the next step into solving your taxes and getting that done.
Yeah, that is really key because there's always changes from year to year. So what do Manitobans need to know in order to, maximize those deductions and credits this tax season?
To maximize your deductions and your credits for this tax season, it's really just about being curious and asking those questions. What changes did happen for me? Because let's say you have children. If you have expenses that you had to pay for the sake of making income, those could be deductible or those could be a credit. If you moved for the sake of work, that could be moving expenses. If you worked from home, that can be expenses. So it really belongs to Manitobans and Canadians to ask those questions, because it is a self-assessing tax system. It is up to you, but the CRA will help you in those questions as well if you ever need them. And there's a great area on the canada.ca/taxes website. You go on there and you search learn about your taxes, and it'll break things down bit by bit and actually give you maybe some more insight to what you might be missing and some tax savings that you could have.
You know, speaking of that, I know the CRA has made changes to make filing easier this year. Highlight some of those new things for us.
Well, to make it easier for Canadians to file is you can always have your Canada.ca/taxes CRA online account. For starters, that should be the first thing that everybody looks for, just because there are instances where you might not have all your information, your T4 slips, and if you go on there, you can just give a quick check to make sure that everything is on there. Besides that, there are some ways to file your return through other softwares that the CRA can help you. So if you use something such as TurboTax, you can autofill your return through the partnership with the CRA and other third-party softwares that allow you to do that.
All right, finally, break down the important dates and deadlines we should be aware of.
Well, the most important one is April 30th, of course. That's when you have to file your taxes. Make sure you don't miss that, because if you have a balance owing, you could be subjected to a late filing penalty, which is 5% of the amount, and then 1% of that amount for the next 12 months, up to 12 months. But if you don't owe money and you do file late, what could happen is that you might delay the benefits and credits that you're already entitled to throughout the year. So it's just in everybody's benefit to do that and to get that done on time. And then after that, if you are self-employed, you can file up to June 15th.
All right, it's open now. Get it done. And David's given us lots of tips to help make it easy. Thanks so much for your time tonight. It was great speaking with you.
Thank you as well. Have a great day.
An Ottawa man living with ALS has been selected for a Health Canada-approved treatment trial. It's all part of a Canadian breakthrough aimed at treating the devastating disease.
How are you?
Good.
Good. All right, do you want to have a seat?
Raymond St. Pierre has been living with ALS for more than 2 years.
I've grown much weaker. I've lost a bit of balance and my hands, and now my speech is beginning to be affected.
St. Pierre spoke to CTV News Ottawa in 2024 after a promising breakthrough out of Western University.
Like I mentioned in the first interview, there was a light at the end of the tunnel. This could be it.
Researchers then discovered that targeting an interaction between two proteins present in ALS-impacted cells can halt or even reverse the progression of the disease. Now St. Pierre has been approved for a first-of-its-kind Health Canada trial.
First in Canada, and since Dr. Strong's discovery out of Western University with the cause of ALS.
Going to give us a reading of how...
He's one of the first patients in Canada to try a medication that is being tested only in Ottawa and Montreal.
Looking at darifenacin and whether it's able to aid patients with ALS to repair their nerve muscle junction and thereby improve their muscle strength and muscle function. I think the hope is that it'll slow down any progression of the disease. At this point, we don't know whether there will be any reversal or not of symptoms.
Dr. Ari Briner, the one overseeing the treatment, says it's unique.
A made in Canada study, so it's based on groundbreaking cellular and mouse work that was done at the University of Montreal, and the trial itself is only being conducted at 2 sites, both of which are in Canada.
For St. Pierre, he's only a few weeks into the 6-month trial and doesn't know how it could all work out. He could even be on a placebo, something both patients and doctors are not notified of during trial periods.
It's a beginning. It's a start. I'm hoping that it'll slow down the progression for sure. Taking the pills on a regular basis.
But for the 75-year-old, it also gives him hope that he can make a difference in the lives of those living with ALS. Natalie Van Roy, CTV News.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic.
Decades of rocking and rolling, how this Manitoba band will help others while it celebrates a big anniversary.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting the Irish Rovers.
A Winnipeg band wants to light the fuse and cause an explosion of donations for charity. Yeah, The Fuse is a band that's been together in one form or another since 1970. Well, today they no longer go out on tour, but they still get together weekly to jam as a band, normally without a crowd, but once a year they do a benefit show for charity. This year, The Fuse will be doing a performance to celebrate their 50th anniversary and raise money for Habitat for Humanity at the same time.
If not for that, we probably wouldn't play live at all, because I think the other live performances we've done, our friends invite us to play their birthday party, or we play a backyard party, like purely for fun. But mixed in with that has been the benefit shows. So we look forward to that. It's the only show at the moment. It's the only show we're doing every year.
The Fuse's benefit concert for Habitat for Humanity is on Saturday, March 21st at the Park Theatre. Tickets are available through TicketWeb. And here's a look at some of the events taking place in Manitoba this weekend. The Freeze Frame International Film Festival kicks off on Sunday. There's the Winnipeg Women's Show and Winnipeg Whiskey Festival. Brandon hosts a home and leisure show. Sounds Like Light brings together sound, light, and music. The Gimli Ice Festival celebrates community, culture, and heritage. Ashern hosts its Carnival weekend. Brandon also has a winter carnival. The Swan Valley Museum is celebrating winter. The Canadian Power Toboggan Championships are in Beausejour, and cheer on Manitoba's para hockey team at the Cross Border Classic. You can find a full list of events this weekend on our website. That's ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. The creator behind Heated Rivalry is now set to make a new Netflix series about Alexander the Great. Jacob Tierney will write, direct, and serve as executive producer for the upcoming series Alexander. It's based on Canadian author Annabelle Lyon's best-selling novel The Golden Mean, which imagines the relationship between Alexander the Great and his tutor, the philosopher Aristotle. Netflix has not provided any other details about the series, including a possible release date. Your Friday primetime lineup starts with Happy's Place and Stumble at 7. A pop culture quiz, Battle of the Generations, is at 8. And Boston Blue comes next at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
He was said to be the most beloved criminal in Canadian history.
Looking back at Winnipeg's Flying Bandit, how much gold the notorious robber made off with and what foiled his getaway plans.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Normal high for this time of year is -3. We managed to get to -7 and again 2,000. That was a warm stretch of days. -13 our overnight low. Tonight, partly cloudy. There's a chance we could see showers by as early as late Saturday afternoon. Otherwise, a high of 2 degrees. Chance of showers Sunday up to +4, -7 by Monday, and then temperatures staying below freezing until we get to Thursday.
Looks great. Thanks, Colleen. It's a plot straight out of a movie. A man with humble beginnings uses his charm and creativity to steal a not-so-small fortune of gold straight off an airport tarmac. Well, it might sound stranger than fiction. It actually happened right here in Winnipeg. And the man behind the heist was Winnipegger Ken Leishman, also known as the Flying Bandit.
He was said to be the most beloved criminal in Canadian history. I think that's probably right.
It happened 60 years ago. The stolen gold came from a mine in Ontario and was supposed to be shipped to the Mint, which was then in Ottawa. Leishman, who was a Winnipeg salesman, intercepted it, making off with the shipment worth millions today. He planned to drive it to a farm in Manitoba, but the blizzard of '66 closed the highway and foiled his plans. After a brief escape from Headingley Jail, he served out his time, and when he got out, he became something of a folk hero.
Despite his life. Don't forget, this was the late '60s, and people had a lot of distrust in banks and government and institutions, and I think he kind of tapped into that sticking it to the man philosophy of the time with his robberies, and both his robberies, and he had a daring escape from Headingley Prison, where he fled down to the U.S. and was caught. Yeah, he actually became a folk hero and did the talk show circuit.
Yeah, look at this. We are coming up on the 60th anniversary of the Flying Bandit's arrest for the Great Gold Heist, and we actually have a story all about it up on our website. It delves into all the incredible twists and turns of this infamous crime. You can read it for yourself on our website. Just go to ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. I got to read this.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. All right. Going to log on right now. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here Monday.